picks up his famous Rakan.
All right, so this is where we're
Okay,
going to find
Doran.
out if Owner's just going to play Xin Zhao, you know, here and push the Jace into the top lane. Or is he just going to play the Jace jungle and we see the Renekton that was not banned taken over, and that seems to be a look here potentially.
A Shuriman
K'Sante.
vibe anyway.
I don't like K'Sante as much in this draft. I feel like you don't need that much tankiness. I think you want more threat.
Yeah, definitely having a good time. It is a different flavor. All right, as you were saying it, Wolf, there is going to be the headbutt pulverized back, and down goes Guma, nothing he can do. As Kanavi, I don't know whether they're going to go for a contest here, as there is the supreme display of talent. Carrier going to be stunned up momentarily as there's the Emperor's Divide. It throws Faker back as he flashes over the wall once again. The three-man shockwave defensively, but the grand entrance, and Delight is able to take him down.
Kills, they get that as well. Feels pretty good for them as Guma's once again way out here.
Yeah, and Carrier is behind him, so he can headbutt, pulverize, do whatever the heck he wants, and Guma is very, very dead. No answer there, and once again, had no way of using the flash to save himself.
Yeah, his former support is really doing a number on him in this first game.
And Carrier is once again looking for more. Oh, the pulverize doesn't quite work there as Kanavi just blows up the cow. As they at least both have their eclipses done. As there's a teleport out from Doran, moving towards his top side now. Emperor's Divide is going to catch Faker as Kanavi gets over the cow, and the shockwave does not do nearly enough. That ulti still yet to come back up again, and look at that burst damage out of Kanavi here on this Kiana. Does so much work. Conquering Sands, not enough.
So he needs to be relevant, and he absolutely is now after that kill.
Oh, Dominus coming on through here as there's the public execution out of Zeus. Gets himself the shields. And now, some information coming on in as now Faker gonna try and kill his former top laner. And Zeus gonna try his best, but it's not going to work. The clockwork.
And buy, and can rejoin if they really want to hard send it.
Oh, Carrier looks for the angle. There's Change of Corruption as Kanavi just gets wiped out. There goes the jungler. That should be the Otacon if T1 wants it.
Zeka is just completely chunked here as well. Could look for the single pick on Doran.
Yeah, he does go down to 50%, but he's still got Dominus.
They're just going to run a circle around Hanwha Life Esports and take another turret off the map. At least that looks like is going to be the commitment here.
Yeah, they're going to try to. Should be able to take this, and there it will go. One last minion going to be sticking around for long enough. Make sure that this one is going to go down. Flank angle there from Delight, but he is spotted. Zeus also going to be spotted and wiped out in an instant. Now the rest of HLE going to see whether they can find themselves a team fight. As into the backline goes Delight. They look for Faker. They wipe him out. Emperor's Divide is available here and there. It's a flash out from Zeka as Owner now looks for Delight. He'll find him as he's on 1 health, and he's able to take down the Rakan and get his way out of there. HLE, how did you not kill the Jace?
It's so close to killing him.
Doesn't feel necessarily like he's been the main character. He kind of is, actually, as this poke is really starting to land. Faker now moving over towards his bottom side will be able to break open the base and take down this first inhibitor. Doran in the mid lane as well, now seeing what he can do, but he's in no man's land. Gumayushi going to be able to get himself out of there. That is Delight finding yet another carry and putting him very low, but they kill him. But at what cost? That's the question, ladies and gentlemen. T1 are now barreling down. They're already open bottom lane, and they're going to look to put a dent in this series already and start this best of 5 with a 1-0. Coming through from the red side as well, up against HLE. An absolutely massive performance here as they just did not let go of this game whatsoever. They'll take down Gumayushi just to put some icing on the cake and then walk away 1-0.
And it's hard to even remember that there was a Jin in this game outside of the bottom lane. The composition here for Hanwha Life Esports.
Let's hope Gumayushi remembers, though. I don't want any more remade drafts, Wolf.
You called it a finesse draft, and I think it absolutely was. What Hanwha Life needed to do was to gain control, to look for insanely strong follow-ups for the Ambessa ult. But the Ambessa was 1,500 gold behind. This is our KeSPA Cup ambassador here.
Yep.
But he was 1,500 gold behind, wasn't able to get any map control. Kanavi's Kiana was ahead for a lot of the game by like 200, 300 gold, but could not actually end up doing anything. Was caught several times by Owner as well. And Carrier's save of the bottom lane, I think, is what really opened this game up, right? He was able to catch Guma, then catch him again on the top side. The Jin was kind of pushed out of the game. You think Pyke here? You think Thresh?
Oh, yeah. I mean, there are some options.
I feel like both of those work. Blitzcrank, I think, is a bridge too far because there's too many things you don't want to pull in.
Oh Surely you're not going to do it. No. Carrier, you would never. No, it's Blitzcrank.
Blitzcrank, okay.
That's a fun one.
That's really, really greedy here, but it is, I mean, with what happened to Guma already, can actually really give you a lot of safety when you're pushing the bottom lane so hard. And they have Prio there. They have Prio topside.
Oh, Guma not going to get hit this time.
Every time a hook misses as Guma, you're like, well, how much damage can I get done? Let's find out.
Yeah, well, he's going to walk towards them. We'll be able to see. As Doran looking for a little bit of an angle there as the pound's going to come through. Let's see whether the takedown's going to be enough. It looks like it's not. As Doran, he wants this. Flash is available for both of these top laners.
I mean, Sion gets so much out of the cookie as well. He popped that there. Look at how much health he gets back from it.
Oh my god, Isaiah's just dead. Never mind. Primal Surge comes in. And a hook is going to land once more. That is a fantastic polymorph, but it's not going to last forever as Delight is taken down. Pays gets first blood again. As there is the knock-up, Owners rotating over. Gumayushi, he's never had this much attention from the T1 jungler in a very long time, and he's not too psyched about it as Owner is going to collect the second kill here for T1.
A little bit faster than this Yunara, especially into this composition that does not really have a front line. Once he gets that first item, Carrier's hook.
Yeah, not going to get juked that way this time around as Zeka could be in trouble. No flash, remember, so he is very dead. Feats of Warfare go over to T1 as Kanavi, he could only just watch as his mid laner went down.
Well, this is basically Doran saying, I can't win against this first back of the Nidalee. I don't want to interact with the Nidalee. You know what I can do, though, is sacrifice some potential plate gold here and make an impact on this flashless mid laner. This almost feels like Faker is a StarCraft player controlling his units, man. He's like, Doran, listen, if the Nidalee gets gold from this, it doesn't matter. It can't team fight. I can, though. So come down here and gank this flashless Cassiopeia. And Doran said, yes, okay, I'll follow my orders. He's 11 CS down, but it's definitely worth.
Yep. Shout out to the RSL that have their finals today as well. As all right, HLE now towards this bottom side of the map. Kanavi will find this control ward. T1 with full information. Red-white guns here on Pays at the same time. As okay, let's see whether they can get back on the horse because the gold lead is not massive by any means.
Owner's here, but he's needs to
they're
run over.
Gonna look for it. Another polymorph is fantastic here as Pays just using that Severum as best he can, but the Cyclone's going to be enough. Gumayushi able to grab one of the kills back as now the Realm Warp to bring Faker over. As Guma is able to create enough distance to get himself out of the way. A 2-for-1 feels pretty good for HLE.
Yeah, it's definitely a big win for HLE. They get the Realm Warp out of Faker, pull him out of lane.
Yep.
But ultimately, that's definitely worth here for Guma.
100%.
And they get all 3 grubs for this Nidalee side lane push, which is really, really strong.
Oh, Zeka, Petrifying Gaze goes down. There's the Miasma as well. But Faker just walks it off. Ona, Wind becomes Lightning as Kanavi taking a fair bit of damage here. As he wants the Grump, another great polymorph to come through as Delight's trying to take control of this situation. Zeus moving on in, there's the Audacious Charge. Wild Growth onto the Nidalee as he's trying to team fight his way through. But Ona's able to walk his way out, and the Moonlight Vigil is too good from Pays. They take down Gumayushi, and they also get Zeus to boot. Faker now fighting against Zeus underneath this turret as well, and he'll find the Q to do this extra damage. You can see he wants this. Let's see whether Faker's going to stick around. That is going to be a cheeky grass proc to come on through as Delight will spot Carrier making his way over. Kanavi getting on in here as well as the hook is going to connect onto the Monkey. Uses that to gap close though as there is the Wild Growth to come on through. Another Cyclone will be available and there is the knock-up, but the Monkey is still dead. And the rest of T1, they just collapse so quickly.
And there's no team fighting power in this setup for Hanwha Life. They were hoping that it was going to be a numbers advantage and a Wild Growth there onto Faker. I think Faker reads it incredibly. He's still aggressively posturing here, so Delight must be in the area. He calls his teammates to come over as Zeka should be able to avoid this.
Yeah.
But Carrier's here.
It's a fair bit of damage, and now Carrier, he's going to come over. And Zeka realizes there is not a whole lot he can do in this instance. He's just going to be held in place and taken down. Aurora the Slayer going to be the last hit on the Snake. 8-2.
His opponents are outplaying it, so he's missed a few of these, but when he's set up to hit them, he doesn't.
Cool. In goes the Monkey. There's the ulti immediately there from Ono, but already a Moonlight Vigil does come down from Pays. He's getting so much work done as down goes the Yunara. The first one dead in the fight, and so much of the damage is now removed. Look at Pays. He's at full health, and Faker is just rocketing around the rift to try and take down the straggling members of HLE because they knew already that this is just over. The fight just could not go on without this Yunara present.
And the Yunara dies first in the fight.
or at least the vibe, because Fearless says no more Wukong.
That's true.
It's all right. That is the bounty gold that you were talking about. Does actually come on through here as the hook going to connect there onto Delight. He gets knocked up there as well, but the main problem is Kanavi just getting torn asunder. And now Delight is running the wrong direction. Pay's going to be able to lock him down.
Also, Faker gets a kill here, maybe?
Oh my goodness, Zeus is in a lot of trouble. Another Rune Prison is going to be required as a couple more Qs will need to come in as Faker gets in position with the Realm Warp. Zeus is pretty quick and might be able to just hop his way out of it. Now over the wall goes Gumayusi looking for Faker here as the Arc of Ruin is going to connect to slow him down. Will he have the dash up and available as now Faker is still really scary, remember?
All of his ult's running out.
Yeah, there's another one as the Q not going to land and Faker will be taken out here.
Pays.
All right, can he actually be the one that is able to defend? Moonlight Vigil goes entirely wide. Pays is still able to kill both of them though.
Doesn't matter! I don't need my ultimate. Faker buys an insane amount of time, and they were never going to get out. And now this turret is not long for this world.
That Severin Q was revolting.
How many kills do he have now? 6.
Yeah, 6, 1, and 6.
He almost has IE.
Yeah, Gumayusi's dead, as Doran is just going to be able to chop him down. That's a solo bolo here for the Scion that was counterpicked in this game. Zeka going to move on in. Cannot actually enter that Q range. Faker going to be able to take down this inner turret. And Delight is going to move on over with Kanavi to try and make this one happen, but Owner is in position. Kanavi is going to find himself an ultimate, but I don't think he's going to survive. It does take a long time for him to go down, as he will finally be taken out there by Keria, and now it's Zeka that's in trouble. He's going to explode. Pays is just doing the Otacon alone. Zeus is going to turn up, look to try and take him down, as now Pays, can you get out of the way of this Otacon that's just trying to kill you? As now Zeus, can he kill Keria and Pays at the same time? That's the question, as the Spear is going to connect. Owner's going to move up though. That's a takedown. That is going to get rid of the Blitzcrank as he finds the kill on a Pays as well. Primal Surge comes in. He does manage to get the emote off before Owner takes him down, but that's definitely worth it.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely worth here. It's going to put a small dent into T1, but they need a lot more than just that. Pays held his ultimate there as well. He didn't have the best guns to actually continue that play and was punished ultimately. See if they can get Owner as well. I mean, there's
a possible angle here.
There's a teleport for Faker, so I don't know if they should chase too deep. Maybe this is the Hail Mary Otacon they have to go for, as Kanavi is the target now.
Yeah, he will have Warrior Trickster, I imagine, unless it's on cooldown still, as Doran looking for a bit of an angle. There is Kanavi trying to get himself out of there. He gets shielded up, but it's not going to quite be enough as the Polymorph comes in. Yunara's dead yet again. The Petrifying Gaze is onto 3, but the rest of them are already gone. As Zeka will now be taken out, the Audacious Charge comes in, and T1 right back in the driver's seat once again as Delight. That was not the corner that he wanted to go around.
Been so many series that have gone to 5, right? We've seen so many reverse sweeps, near reverse sweeps. It's
Gumayusi might be dead. Does get that Arc of Ruin over Owner there.
It was T1 that completed the reverse sweep yesterday. So, ooh, that was a bit of a whiff. And I mean, Guma still has his ult running. They want to turn this into something. I just don't think they get it, you know? And now T1 is just way too much space bought as here comes the flank.
Owner's making his way in, and there is Doran getting himself to the front of the fight. Kanavi tries to do something, but he is just food for Pays. Red, white, don't fight as he picks up a double already. And T1 on the back of their 80 carry here are just going to launch themselves into the base of Humble Life Esports and bring themselves to match point. This is just not even looking close. Just look at him gliding towards the enemy team. He'll find a triple, or at least I'm going to call it a triple. It feels like it because he did get that double from earlier. And HLE, yeah, I'd probably just keep yourself alive, protect that KDA for the next game, because this game is well and truly over. The Chakrams flying back to this Aphelios. And yeah, Nexus is now on the floor and back to the drawing board for HLE. We need 5 games, and I just don't even know where they're going to come from now.
T1 have had some of the best reads in draft throughout this tournament, and I think at the start of this best of 5, they have carefully crafted their first 2, and now it feels like Humble Life Esports are out of so many options, right? Like, Guma lost some of his big champions here. To play the tank, you play Ornn, otherwise you could potentially play Jackson, just try to hard side lane win and play through the Pantheon that way with the Ash Arrow also in tow. This is something completely different. And a pretty different look for Doran, who has been one of our top laners, has shied a little bit more away from the Aurora compared to players like Keen, Zeus, that we've talked so much about, Kingen, Xiu. And Doran's going to be picking this one up here. This is really interesting.
It's certainly proving difficult here for them to deal with. They are not too far behind. 600 gold is, it's a decent margin. But if they don't die, if they manage to just sort of hold on until they get to a mid-game where they can actually utilize this composition, then maybe there's something they can do, as there is a great handshake from Carrier to protect Pays. Kanavi's down here, but it looks like he's not going to be able to actually do anything about this. Zeus taking so much damage.
There's kill pressure here now. Owner's got his stacks up. Like, this may be Deus now flashless in a major amount of trouble as this wave crashes through.
Oh, God. Okay, let's see whether Zeus can outplay this one. It's going to be so difficult. He flashes. Good buffer is going to come through, but there is first blood. Over to Doran, as he's also able to crush some of these tunnels. And like you say, just going to be a 2v2 with Doran having a whole bunch of extra money.
Kanavi says it's not completed. A 2v2.
Let's see whether this Vi will actually make a difference, though, as Carrier might actually be in Vault Breaker range, and he is, so he will take a lot of damage and should be going down. The flash from Kanavi immediately, as Guma really wants this kill. We'll see whether he can actually get it. It's Kanavi that's able to lock down Carrier here, as the bailout not going to work. Arrow will connect, though, onto this Vi, as Gumayushi is doing his very best to try and defend. They all pile in on top of Owner, as now Doran dancing around the battlefield. Pays will turn up, cease and desist. Does mean that the junglers both go down. And now Pays is doing battle. Faker is moving over. T1, I think, are just going to clean it up. And it's a double kill for the GOAT.
And that might just be the cup.
One might be taken. Delight does know exactly what's going on, and Kanavi is in the vicinity.
Okay, teleport flank I was talking about from Zeus. Very deep.
Let's see whether they can actually get in here, as now Carrier and Nona possibly in trouble. Cease and desist onto the Pantheon to try and take him out as he flashes immediately. Zeus going to find that knock up, though, and there goes the Pantheon. No bailout for you.
About it. Pays also has his arrow. They really need to be careful.
Yeah, Carrier is just walking in behind here, as there is the Grand Starfall. Gumayushi gets a lot of attention once again. And Doran is just bouncing around his ultimate. He will eventually go down, as hostile takeover doesn't quite work, as Pays tanking this turret way more than he wants to, as the threaded volleys are hurting so much. Zeka doesn't have his flash, though, available. And now Kanavi, can he actually get in there? The Vault Breaker will be up pretty soon, but looks like they're not going to be able to stop this, as there is the Weaver's Wall. And they might actually be able to take them down. Owner's going to be the first one.
Shield.
As there it is, the big old boulder to come through. The threaded volley, and Pays so close to falling. The bailout does actually come down, but it's Kanavi that's able to lock down the kills. They at least get one back, as now Zeus is looking to take down Faker. He flashes and gets him with the really nicely done here.
Meanwhile, Doran is once again in danger.
Yeah, seismic shot, decent buffer there on
He's
the weaving
dead
by Doran, and Delight's going to come on over. Doesn't find the shattering strike, but it's a punch from Kanavi, and will be able to take down the Auroras. Oh, Faker taking a bit of damage here from Zeka, but doesn't find the remaining rocks. Is all right. Cease and desist to come through, as there's the flash from Zeka to make sure they take down Faker. Moving up to 10 kills now, as the handshake is decent. Let's see whether T1 can find an angle as the Weaver's Wall comes in. Pays finding some autos, but down will go Carrier. But look at Pays, he's able to do a whole bunch of work until Zeus gets on top of him. The bailout not going to quite work there, as it's a triple kill for Zeka. Doran gets one back, as Zeus will fall, but it's HLE that take the team fight.
And it feels like each and every scrappy fight T1 takes is a limit test, and HLE are ready to pass the test. They are able to win these, trading up on the bottom side there. Looking for the scrap here is Doran.
Yeah, Doran just stands his ground and dies.
Yeah, another limit test going by the wayside. This Talia has 10 stacks of Dark Seal. Yeah, and Ryla is picked up incredibly early.
He's 6-0-5. I mean, Zeka, he has had a great tournament, and especially in the knockout stage, I think Zeka has been performing exceptionally well. But this is his most impressive game that he's had so far, as Owner's ulting in. Zeus is set up with a bunch of tunnels. Does get the knock up to interrupt Owner here. Does avoid getting stunned momentarily. And now he's able to burrow. If he gets another one, he might actually be out of here. There's the flash, and he just barely isn't able to survive.
First damage coming through from Doran, who is equally as powerful as this Talia. This game doesn't have quite the 6th kill there, but is incredibly strong, as we will see a defensive teleport here from Faker.
Yeah.
So The macro player is insane from T1. Like, they're able to TP here.
Oh, great charm is going to connect there onto Zeka. This is so much damage as he takes another turret shot, but Faker is just going to get taken down.
I think that was a little bit of a bridge too far there. Up until that moment, though, they had the group to get the collapse that leads to a turret. Then they have the defensive TP, which saves Faker from the aggression there in mid and also allows him to defend the turret. I think he probably should have been happy with clearing the wave, but he wanted to kill, and he falls flat on his face.
I mean, it was very close, but still is a little silly, especially now that it's a 7-0 Zeka. There's also now Doran, who is just dead. Once again, roaming around no man's land and is going to be taken out as HLE close in on this inner turret. It's at full health, but it doesn't have a whole lot of defense with both solo lanes now dead on the side of T1.
There's no wave here just yet, but the next one is going to really start to put the threat on that inner, and the mid turret is also in danger. It's a defensive arrow.
Oh yeah, going to connect here onto Zeka as Ona will find the stun flash charm. He's going to get flashed out up there as Ona's thrown around like a rag doll. The Magnet Storm comes in. Hostile takeover is not going to connect on Zeka, but is able to pull Kanavi back. And that is so much money over to Faker here as now Gumushi over the wall. Down goes Ona as it's an 8 for Zeka, who's legendary now in this game. Zeus has turned up, but I don't know he's all that threatening at this point in time as HLE will back away. Might be able to start this one up as Gumushi and Delight going to help take out this wave to make it as dark as possible.
There is a TP for Doran, so he can join here. He's on the opposite side of the map, but this top wave makes it so difficult to get in, and they have control vision in this Tribrush. I think T1 may just have to give this up. They look like they want to fight. Yeah. They're so late to it, though.
Let's see if they can find it. Seismic Shove not going to quite land there as the Weaver's Wall just to block them off. T1 are going to be able to make their way in, though, because this is a Pantheon, and he's going to steal it away! They take down the Corki as well as now T1 in position. Man advantage there, but there's the shutdown onto Faker. The AoE damage is gigantic as HLE are trying to get this one done. Zeus makes his way out, but Pays is still fighting. And Kanavi gets over the top, but does not find the damage. And Pace just has arrow after arrow in these team fights.
I mean, how does this work? How does this happen? They got no information. They've got none. Owner sends it. He gets the smite. Pace gets the stun to protect.
Can he actually get into position? That's it. Oh, the handshake. He was so ready. And Pace is able to take him down.
Baited.
Oh,
what?
Man. T1 with the, permanent stats of the Otacon, that is a big deal as the arrow is going to connect onto Delight. Not exactly an optimal target, but he's going to get pulled back and destroyed.
I feel so bad for Hanwha. I mean, they had such a control over this game.
I mean, they're not out of it just yet, as Gumushi is. He is dead. And Doran just finds it.
We talked about at the beginning of the day with the Otacon, right? With it's the last series of Otacon.
I like that. Avoids the full combo there out of the Aurora, as in goes Kanavi, and he's going to try and go out as well. Handshake is going to miss as T1, they have just reformed their Phalanx. That is a decent amount of AoE as now Guma throwing these rockets around. Massive AoE as a hostile takeover is not really hostile at all. Kanavi goes in, cease and desist, but he's down to the GA. They take down Carrier, but can T1 actually find the angle? Doran is going to be wiped out though. It's a double for Gumayushi. Pays still finding these autos, but he's not safe enough as Ona is able to take down his former top lane. But it's only Zeus.
Past the Baron pit, cross bottom to top. You can see Doran's clearing up part of that here. But if they actually end up getting split, I mean, T1 can blow somebody up and go straight to Baron. This is such a tense moment on the map as this game state, even though it's a 5,000 gold lead, it's still relatively even.
Oh, Gumushi almost just getting blown up as Doran looking for the angle. He flashes and manages to take him down, but Pace is also dead on the other side of the fight. Carrier also having to flash his way out, and look at the AoE. Faker is dead, and HLE, they may lose their new 80 carry, but it did not matter. They had plenty of carries already. Oh my goodness, Pay's gonna get caught by another one as the bailout does actually go off, but unfortunately it is not going to come on through. Kanavi going to help grab that second kill as now Doran, he was in flanking position, but now everyone's dead, so he is just going to die. Goes between worlds a few times and is going to go golden. As Ward goes over, he gets knocked up and he is going to get eliminated. Zeus going to be able to lock that one down. That one feels cathartic, you could imagine.
And the last gold lead for T1 was the Aurora. He doesn't have one anymore. That Soul, they maintain Baron. They have 2 minutes left on it, and they are looking to bring us to a fourth game now, Atlas.
Yep. Zeus going to be pretty happy about that Chemtech Soul coming through as well, so I don't think they're ever going to be killing this Rek'Sai again as the ulti from Ona. Where is he going? All right, going to try and pick up the minion wave if he can find it, but there are still minions here. The flash forward from Zeka looking for Faker. He throws out the ulti. Seismic Shove doesn't quite work there as there's the charm avoided by going into stasis with that hourglass. Faker also going to do the same thing, but he's down to 1 health. Gets himself out of the way, but it's the auto attack to come on in. Guma's dead yet again, but what we learned is that Guma doesn't even really matter in this game. He will be taken out. It's a triple for Zeka. Kanavi grabs one back, and the first Nexus for HLE will fall here in game number 3.
T1 had that really heroic, miraculous Otacon team fight, but were not able to convert it into anything else. The side lane of Zeus was just so powerful, and the Fed Talia got insane work done, but it was Kanavi's engages that really helped them clean up and close out the game. And this by Talia was absolutely what HLE needed to win this one.
Yeah, I have to say, Zeka really having a day out in this one.
But you could also just pick a scaling pick and go, well, Mel kind of just isn't winning and isn't relevant in early fights. We'll take the whole map.
Wait, Yasuo Sejuani?
Or Yasuo.
Oh my god, it's Yasuo Sejuani.
Or Yasuo Diana.
Oh my, don't tempt me, Frodo.
I mean, there is the Rumble here. I'm kind of interested.
That could be very, very fun. Let's see what Ona does want to do. As you can see, he's not too psyched about it. That means Sejuani. It's got to be Sejuani. Right? He's like, oh man, do I have to? Really? Sejuani again? That champion's so boring. Watch Carrier lock it in. And it's Silas. Never mind. All right, so we're having fun. We're having fun on Summoner's Rift.
Okay, this is a really...
I don't know whether Yasuo is ever going to have a very good time in the Mel, though. I don't know how that matchup goes.
I don't think it's going to be like he loses the lane, but it is definitely not going to be generating the advantage that Syndra would, for example. This is really interesting to see. This was picked into Rumble a lot early, but Rumble kind of eventually just started to win this one as we saw a lot of changes to Gwen coming through.
It's not actually Faker. It's just Faker's skin.
Yeah, no, I know.
It's all right. Zona's going to be moving up. It's not actually even Faker's skin that he's using. Why doesn't he use it?
Yeah, that is weird.
It's a bit of a strange.
Well, Faker wouldn't use it, so I guess he's trying to.
That's true. That's true. Channel a bit of what Faker would do. As now Kanavi moving over, but now you've got Ona towards the bottom side as well, looking for the angle here as Gumayushi should be going down. There's first blood over to the Silas, but it is going to be answered as Delight will be able to find that kill on the back end. Now, Delight could be in trouble here as the flash does come on through. Ona will be going down. Never mind, he won't. Pays is the one that falls as it's 2 for 2 as the dust settles. And that is a very fed Nautilus.
Yeah, that Nautilus has a lot of money. I think they're pretty happy, though, with the denial of the minions to Guma and the kill that Pays picks up. He grabs a longsword and a tear for his troubles.
Carrier is just fighting Kanavi here. Faker going to be rotating over, but it may be that Carrier just kind of dies.
Faker is going to come over here, though. He has a blast going.
Yeah, 42 health, make it 24, as that is going to be Feats of Warfare, as Kanavi just kills Carrier and then walks away and takes the wolf. Something that makes him happy. Not going to be denied too much CS or experience or anything like that.
Looks like Owner's still, or sorry, Doran is still able to farm.
Yeah, there's another make it rain. As Doran, no flash, remember, but is now looking to go 1 for 1 as Delight is just being so annoying. And Doran is dead. And
they're going to get the dragon.
It's not going to be a sequel. Never mind, it might just be a sequel. As Doran taking a lot of damage, will be able to make it towards his turret, but
it's a spin-off.
Yeah, it's definitely feeling a little bit like a spin-off.
All right, they're going to look for the sequel after the spin-off. TP looking for the defend.
Now the hook going to connect there is now Doran looking to try and offer something back, but it's Kanavi that helps grab this kill, and Guma is off to a really good start in this game. Will be able to stop the back as Carrier is going to have to stick around for a little while longer. Doran will be rotating up, but like you say, not level 6 just yet. So Kanavi is going to be able to respect this Rumble as Faker's moving up as well.
Yeah, I mean, Doran's like, I'm getting the farm, guys. I'm sorry. You guys could chase that Jarvan if you want. Space is looking for something here with Owner, rotating over.
Snip, snip does come down there as Delight. Get jumped on here by Owner. There is the depth charge picked up as now the equalizer does come down. Kanavi looking for an angle, gets the knock up there onto Doran, but I think Doran will be able to find some revenge. And there it is. Faker actually able to lock that one down. His depth charge also.
With those 3 kills, although because of the CS deficit, actually kind of dead even.
Oh, Ona finding some, finds a smite actually as he takes away the crab, but now Kanavi is looking to try and take him down. In comes Zeker as well. Rebuttal, not necessary, but he's going to be able to grab the kill onto Ona as now Kanavi still trying to find Moyev. Gets a beautiful double knock-up as the anchor goes wide. Zeus gets into the backline though as Paze is in trouble. Zeker looking for the angle as Faker going to get stunned up. He will be able to hit the tornado, but does not go further forward as Zeus not able to find that last bit of damage onto Faker, who does make his way up, but we're not done yet as Doran moves in. Silences himself, True Shot Barrage only onto Kanavi, as Zeker will be able to find the kill onto Faker. Takes him down here, Doran still wanting to fight, as he is only doing battle. For this entire game, he is just trying to kill people as Hook max range out of Delight, finds the slowdowns as well, as Zeker is always lurking on the outskirts of these fights. Zeus also offering some needlework to the battle as Cataclysm from Ona. He finds a double so far, but now he's in amongst so many people. Paze looking to try and back him up, but Zeker is going to block him off, and Paze is able to take him down.
The barrier's enough. He gets the kill there. Onto the Mel. 2 kills for Zeker means that he's going to be in a pretty stable game state as we have a bit of a trap set.
Yeah, let's see whether, see who is going to be setting the trap, as we know there is a Braum lurking behind, but Kanavi's going to come on over here as Carrier might be able to get out here. There's the depth charge as Carrier's looking to make his way in. Paze is already, oh, never mind, the arcane shifts, and Zeker is able to come in and pick this one up. Rebuttal does not work on the turrets, however, he is going to survive as now Faker running away. Not going to be able to find that tornado as it's a double kill, make it a triple for Zeker as Ona comes in once again to try and save the day, and he might be able to do so. Gumayusi should be able to shut him down, but never mind, it's a quadra kill for this Mel, as Zeker might be the person that picks up the first win on this champion.
Because the truth is the Mel is a real damage dealer, a ranged damage dealer, and one that is going to continue to farm and be incredibly relevant later on in this game. And when Mel gets 3 items, I mean, that's when she's actually a champion, and he's already halfway there.
Yep, and now T1 are grouped around this dragon. There's another hook that's going to connect. There's the flag and Dragon's Paze basically out of the fight already. Ona is going to be able to take down the dragon as they're all in the back of this pit. Carrier so close to dead. Zeker finds a 7th. They take down the Nautilus, but I think this fight is already done. It's a Hextech Soul this game. That's an exciting one, but Zeker has so many kills that I don't even know whether we're going to get to a Soul before he wins this game. Yeah, Zeus is looking to snip down the Rumble, and he will be able to cut him down to size. All right, we got a bit of a battle here as Ona versus Gumayusi is happening. Guma does have a little bit of life steal, but he doesn't have his life. There's a flash over the stun there. Zeker is going to get caught. Faker is able to lock that one down. Should be secured here, as T1 will be able to get themselves the objective feat of strength if they are able to take that one down. But HLE looking to fight for this one, as they've been looking to fight for everything all game long. And let's see whether they can actually get themselves into position. It is going to be the Rift I'll take him, but now the fight is going to start. Faker gets into the backline as Zeker with the rebuttal. Doesn't get anything done. It's the Rumble that gets a lot of work, but there's the bullet time from Gumayusi. Faker's already dead. The flash from Guma, he survives for such a long time, is now Paze looking to get that work done. The snare connects, and Zeus cuts him down.
He pulled Shelly out of his pocket and said, "See you later. Thank you for Soul Point."
Well, now Faker is looking to dive on top of Gumayusi, who goes down to 50% health. Zeker rotating over. There's the knock-up as Faker finds the last breath. Guma going to go down as there's the knock-up. They know that Ona is going to be the carrier. Zeker finds the ulti, and they are all melting at the hands of this Mel. But Paze, he stands tall to flash forward, but Zeker goes golden. It's Ona who's now underneath the turret, and he survives.
And the equalizer is still underneath his feet. Zeus is going to grab the turret here in exchange. This game just does not ever stop. Looking for the kill on Doran now.
Yeah, let's see whether Zeus can lock him down here as the needlework comes out to slow down the Rumble, and he dashes for the snip.
I guess that's the case. They had a ward there. We're going to see a TP here from Zeker to come in and rejoin and look for the defense.
Yeah, let's see who's going to win this fight. Is Faker going down very, very low. Does get into the backline, but Zeus is right behind him. The needlework is going to miss, and Faker survives for a very long time. But there's the Mel for the execution. The teleport away from Kerry. He's like, nope, I am done. I've had enough of this. It's too silly. As now Gumayusi will find Paze. Delight's there with the hook, and Paze tries as he might. Does have the barrier.
I think that if this steal goes off here for T1, like if they're able to actually secure this dragon, oh, maybe they get even more.
Yeah, Gumayusi in so much trouble. He does avoid the chains. Now looking to try and get rid of Ona as the hook. He's going to connect onto Doran. He just walks over to pick it up. And the Redemption gets the health bars back.
This game is so playable for T1 because they have an Ezreal.
I mean, Hextech Soul is absurd.
I mean, they just have such a powerful tool to set up these melees if they do get it.
I mean, HLE needs to stop them from starting this. As Delight goes in, depth charge down onto Pays, but Delight's already dead. True Shot Barrage comes in, Cataclysm, his carrier's down already. Ona now into that backline, but Zeka goes golden, and now Ona's looking silly. It is going to be the bullet time to lock down the double kill for Guma, and there's the knockup for the triple. Kanavi now backing away, and without Ona, this dragon will not be secured by T1. Right, Pays? Right, Pays, it's not. It's not. Gumayusi is going to say, no, it is not, as that's the unofficial Quadra, and HLE really take control of this game.
Yeah, I said about Fearless. I'm just kidding. Zeka actually rebuts the True Shot Barrage.
That was a bit cute.
Always good to get a free ultimate.
Baron.
Yeah, and a free Baron as well.
All right, well, let's see whether Ona can get over. It's only at 5,000 health, but it is going down exceptionally fast.
They're going to try to get some exit kills.
Yeah. If you could smite while you're in the air, then that could have been really close. But unfortunately, it was not. And Ona, let's see whether they can actually win the fight, as now Zeus dancing around in amongst 3 members of T1 here as Carrier wishes the door was the other direction. But there are still so many minions here. It looks like this turret is not long for the world. Glacial Fissure not doing too much as Kanavi looks for Pays. The Arcane shifts to get himself out of the way. And the Equalizer goes down there as well. Zeus in a lot of trouble as he goes golden. Bullet time comes through. The door not quite doing enough, but down goes the Gwen to start this one off. Depth charge into the backline, stops Pays' CPS, but Ona, my God, he does so much just before he goes down. And it's a double here as Zeka finally finds a rebuttal on a tornado. As it's a triple for Pays and T1, they are still alive in this game.
They kept their inhibitor alive on top of all these kills they pick up here. And Zeka is actually going to get caught off by Pays flanking on the Hex Gate.
Oh my goodness. Okay, Zeka still has flash, is going to bounce over towards Doran here. Just blows him up, but he will go down.
Run over to the dragon, get Prio and try to secure this. If Zeus actually can, if his teammates can buy time and he can TP in and this wave starts hitting those Nexus turrets, Zeus could backdoor this game if the team actually denies T1's backs. Like, this is such a tense moment here for T1. They want this Hex Tech, but they have to defend their base. And Zeus is spawned.
All right, popping on over here as Ona gets in. There's the dash cannon. Zeus could be in trouble. Does he actually have the Zhonya's? He does. But is it actually going to be helping out here? Is the chains going to land? Delight's dead as well. And that should be Hextech Soul over to T1.
Conway Esports have the opportunity to start this Baron up and continue to control zone here with Zeka. Level 16 on his ultimate now.
Delight poking his head out of the fog of war here as we once again get our vision back. Zeka just trying to fish with these spells. Now, the rebuttal is on cooldown. True Shot Barrage doing a whole bunch of work as Kanavi gets in. There's a great Cataclysm, but they get on top of the Mel. It is a trade of mid laners as Ona goes golden. Bullet time is gigantic, and down will go Pays to the GA. And now it's time for the needlework to come out. A hook comes through. It's a double for Kanavi and an ace for HLE. We will be denied the Elder Flip, but we will not be denied a 5th game.
Zeka dies, but it does not matter. HLE lose only the Mel, and Mel will win her first game of the tournament, even if she's the only one to die in the game-winning team fight. It's Gumayusi, whose ultimate rips through this melee composition here for T1, takes Pays out. That brings us to the 5th and final here of KeSPA Cup. Since top 4, we just go the distance.
33 minutes and 69 kills.
Pretty nice.
That's a nice game right there in Game 4, bringing us to Game 5 once again. 3 days in a row. Man, if you are not entertained, then I think that the problem is with you and not with the KeSPA Cup, because this has been the greatest tournament of the year.
T1's draft had a lot of really strange elements to it, but how they played the level 3 gank from Owner, the invade into Kanavi's jungle, how fed he was, how much they scrapped to try to force that lead for Pays. Started to work, but then it fell apart when Zeka just was able to catch them when they were trying to actually hard force a lot of those scrappy fights, those skirmishes in the early game. Zeka became so big, it was too difficult for T1 to actually break through the smell. And Guma scaled incredibly well, and in the late game, he just kept getting ultimates where he was hitting 3+ members for enough time to actually win those fights, as he was basically full build, and HLE will win the game. The final pick here is going to be the jungle for Owner. I mean, I suppose he could be playing the Shen.
What about the Nocturne
Oh
Shen
my
combo?
God.
The
Oh my
ninja
God.
delivery system.
You're just reading the minds of T1 right now. Or
Never mind, it's a rock. It's a rock for no, it's the Nocturne. It's not, they're doing it. They're
okay,
doing
here
it,
we
the
go.
combo.
It's just full global here, full send. You can't see Pays.
Oh,
you can't kill Pays.
Kassadin.
He's got so many shields. They have so much scaling. And the Kassadin is Zeka's way of saying, well, we'll bring some of that scaling back. I mean,
Kale mid. No, Kassadin actually, like, it kind of works.
They could also play Smolder, I suppose, but this is AP damage that scales to an incredible degree.
Oh,
and
and he
Zeka's going to
locks
pull it out, pull it in. Not very gankable because Shen is going to be able to dash away from a lot of stuff. He is going to be able to taunt Zeus. The Nocturne, though, isn't really going to be able to gank or do anything pre-6 unless a big mistake is made. So, again, Zeka's just kind of chilling, right? He's farming. He's getting his minions in. But the same is true of this area that's up 10 farm right now. And Doran is aggressive on this pick.
Owner making his way in here as Zeka. No way to get out of this gravity field
way.
as he's going to need to flash, but he decides not to. Gets speared up, and there is first blood over to Faker.
Again, unless somebody's out of position, like Guma's, you know, by himself, or there's a Nami to be found, he can just protect Pays with his ultimate.
Yep.
And then Pays has shields for days, right? Like, this is protect Pays. This is all about Pays. This whole tournament for T1 feels like it's been all about Pays and showcasing what this AD carry is capable of. As Faker's going to grab a plate here.
Oh, there's the paranoia as they just kill Zeka in an instant.
Just did so much damage Faker did in those aggressive pushes. Doran is willing to drop his side lane pressure at any point in time, as you were alluding to in the draft. He can also follow Owner to a team fight.
Oh, there's the final chapter as Gumayushi. I think he might just be dead. He has the barrier, but he's not even going to use it. There's feats of warfare for T1, and they have a monopoly on the kills.
The shield would have done nothing for him there. And now they're going to try to come over here and get Kanavi. Kanavi does successfully take this red buff away, but the rotation is coming down of Pays and Keria. He's very tanky, but I don't know how long he's going to last here. He needs some help.
Yeah, the brief race comes through as now Pays gets himself set up. Zeka gets over that wall, but I don't know whether he's at safety just yet. Keria going down low is now Delight with the tidal wave. Is looking to try and chase them out. And is at least going to get them out of there as the teleport comes through from Zeus as well.
Baker's just getting free farm on the top side. There is no answer.
And Guma underneath this turret probably will lose this plate right here. And that is more money going over to Pays. Delight moving up towards his top side though, as now Faker could be in a little bit of trouble. Let's see whether they can actually lock him down, as there is the Rift Walk to get Zeka in there. Faker going down lower, there is the ulti. And Doran will be able to save his mid laner.
And this time it's the Camille that's going to have some extra time alone on the side because she can't get here. And T1 are looking to do more than just defend. Here's the rotation over a Pays. He hasn't ulted yet this game, but I think he wants to.
Yeah, Kanavi looking to make his way in here as well, as Delight is kind of fish food right now. There's the paranoia. They get in on top of this Kassadin, and he will be the first to go down. The final chapter comes in as now Delight doing his very best to survive, but the gravity field is so good. Pays grabs it with the extendo beam. And that is 2 on the floor, 5-0. Being able to just stand united with a member of T1 and force fights elsewhere. It's just going to be so much better. I really wanted to talk about how these compositions were going to interact later on in the game. But if this game continues the way it is, it could just be a steamroll here by T1.
It looks like it might be, but we're going to see an angle here.
Yeah, there's the ulti back as Gumayushi does get exhausted immediately. Final chapter comes in, paranoia goes down, and Guma is just dead. Owner will be able to take his exit as well, and he may not even need to, as Kanavi's going to make his way over Redemption.
Gets a turret, Pays gets a turret, they're looking for a kill!
It's another paranoia to come on through as the tidal wave doesn't do anything at all. Delight looking to make his way out, but the cat is going to die, and now Zeka is making his way in. Pays still alive and gets the Redemption there as well from the grave. As Zeus rotating over will be able to find Doran here.
They're just going to collapse onto him, though, if he doesn't get out of here. He has the blast cone, he has the hook shot. Yeah. He is going to be okay, but he cannot find any angle to pressure.
Oh my goodness. Almost an extendo beam kill there from FaZe.
I mean, right now, Zeus is still not necessarily safe, and this turret is the target here for T1 ultimately.
All right, let's see what he can use as no ulti is available. Kanavi's going to move down as there's a teleport in. Zeka looking to try and get relevant in this game as Faker goes down incredibly low to that last turret shot. Force Pulse comes in, but Doran is playing some great defense as Kerry is making his way over. There's a taunt, and down will go Zeka. See whether we actually get any honest team fights in this game. As Kanavi, with his hard steel at the ready, is looking to come on over here as FaZe taking a lot of damage, but he's offering a whole lot back as well. He's going to pick up 2 from the bottom side, make that a third as Kanavi's flashing out of the way. And we hadn't certified it yet, Wolf, but I think the certification is coming in now. Quadra kill to start it off. Can he get the 5th? The answer is no. Because Zeus is going to get out of there, but I think it might just be exactly that, Wolf. This inhibitor turret is not long for the world, and T1 are looking to push further forward.
Zeus is trying to buy time here, but he will also fall. You have to imagine, FaZe says absolutely!
The unofficial pentakill here for T1's AD carry.
They could have, instead of chasing Zeus there, maybe pushed for the inhibitor, but even getting an inhibitor doesn't necessarily give them a big advantage. Gives more farm over to Hanwha Life as Kanavi is the target in this fight.
Yeah, and FaZe is just going to dash in, obliterates Gumayushi, and the flash out of the way there from Zeka to try and keep himself alive. Zeus is going to get stopped here by Doran, held onto as he tries to hookshot his way out, but just more dashes over. Zeus trying his very best to do some funny business to get out of the way. But I don't think the hookshot is going to be back quick enough, and down he will go. FaZe is 9-0-4 in this game.
And he's got a Yuumi on his back. He's got a Nocturne who can flicker the lights. He's got a Shen to shield him. And Faker, by the way, also just happens to be casually 4,000 gold ahead on the scaling Victor. I don't think this Kassadin is hitting level 14, not less 16 in this one, and down he goes.
Yeah, the calling comes in, and Zeka sort of dies as an afterthought. Gumayushi going to follow suit.
FaZe is going to be the first one to pick up a KeSPA Cup title, Atlas. T1 has never won before, but it looks like they're going to pick up their first trophy right now.
Yeah, here's the paranoia into that back line, as of course they're going to be going for the Nami first. Kanavi goes down as well as FaZe gets amongst it. Zeus tries to do something, but it's a double kill here for the T180 carry, and T1 wipe the floor with them. It's a clean ace, and that will be the end of game number 5, and T1 claiming their very first KeSPA Cup trophy.
And the very first tournament post-Worlds will belong to them as well. T1 with an incredible performance here in the 5th and final game. Faker with the celebratory Zonias as the Nexus falls.
23-1 was the kill score at the end. HLE just getting absolutely obliterated in that final game. Very similar to what they did to DK, as DK was, of course, able to win a couple back and then got bopped in that 5th one. The same thing happens as T1 say no to a reverse sweep. That is only allowed by them.
We have so many loud cheers from the crowd here as T1 will lift the cup for 2025. And the beginning of a new era of T1 begins now. A new AD carry, but the core remains. They went from Worlds to KeSPA Cup 2025, and 2026 is just on the horizon. And if this tournament is anything to go by, this team should be feared.
I would agree. And I'd like to call this the first brick in the Golden Road, Wolf.
There you go.
That's what I want to call it. As FaZe, yeah, did 3 times the damage of his opponent, but I think most of the players did. Faker also demonstrating the same thing as Zeka was unable to do anything at all in this game.